Welcome back to the channel, everyone. In today's episode, I'm going to show you how to properly, safely, and quickly set up a pop-up camper. Now, I'm not an expert on campers, but I feel like I am somewhat of an expert on pop-up campers, specifically this one. This is a Epic Series 2003 Viking pop-up camper. I have camped in, as you can see here, 25 or so state parks with it. Today, I'm here at the off-grid property, the 20 acres that I purchased and where I'm building my cabin. But in the meantime, I can use this to camp out here as well. So yeah, today's video is going to be a step-by-step guide to setting up your pop-up camper. All right, so maybe you're thinking about getting a camper and you're wondering, is it a lot of work to set it up and tear it down? And exactly how do you do that? This camper, I feel like, is very mid-range when it comes to pop-up campers. It is in the middle as far as size and weight goes. It doesn't have like the pop-outs on the side like the larger ones, but it also has more room than some of the smaller ones. So I feel like this is a good example to start with. Now, just a brief word before we get started with step one is there's not a whole lot of tools that are needed to set up a pop-up camper. You're going to basically need a wrench of some kind. This is actually not necessary, but I'll share that in a minute. You're going to need this to actually crank the cable and to raise it up. And you're going to need this. This is for your stabilizers. But apart from that, one person can do this in about 10 or 15 minutes. So let's go ahead and jump in on step number one. All right, so you have found your camping spot for the night. What do you do as a first step? Well, even at campgrounds, no spot is going to be perfectly level. So the first thing you're going to want to do before you disconnect the trailer from your vehicle is to put wheel chocks on the low side of the wheels. Now, on a pop-up camper, that's typically just two wheels. I'm going to put one on one side, and then I'm actually going to put a different piece of equipment on the other side. This piece of equipment is optional, but I feel like it is way worth the money. This is a wheel stabilizer. A wheel stabilizer will go typically under the lowest side of the camper, and it's going to kind of chalk it up on both sides, but it also has a crank on it that you can raise and lower it up and down so that you can get it perfectly level. Now, going along with step number one are the stabilizers. Now, typically, I don't want to put a ton of weight on this. This is just to get it right up on the ground and nothing else. That's why I use the actual wheel stabilizer and chalk to really stabilize it. So I carry just a little toolkit here that I just keep in the camper 24/7. And I have a little level here that I put on top of the camper to give me an idea of which side is low and which side is high. So I know that the camper is, and you can just see it here on camera, it is coming downhill towards me and it's going uphill that way. So I need to lower this side and raise the side that is closest to me. And I got the wheel chock in place for that. Once you get the two wheel stabilizers down, you're going to want to put the stabilizer at the front down, and this is typically has a wheel on it, and it makes it very easy to kind of maneuver around if you need to, but also gives it that front side contact with the ground. Now, what I like to do is just get it touching the ground, and then I start going through the process of disconnecting it from the actual vehicle. So once you're ready to disconnect your trailer from the vehicle, you should have wheel chocks on both of the wheels, the stabilizers just barely touching the ground, and then you're ready to actually unhook everything. Once you unhook it, you're going to pull your vehicle forward and you're ready to actually open up the camper and get it set up. Now it's time to actually set up the camper, and the first thing you're going to do here is to unlock the latches on each of the four corners that hold the top down to the frame, the bottom side of the camper. Once you have that done, you're going to go ahead and start raising it up. And look at that, the sun came out just in time to raise it up. So I have everything stable, everything is level, and all I got to do is start cranking and everything will come to life. A little pro tip for you. For this piece, this is the one piece you cannot forget. If you forget this piece, especially if you're not at a campground, you're out of luck, you're not camping in your camper. So this is what actually pulls the cable to raise everything up. What I did was I spray painted it orange, just so if I set it on the ground, I wouldn't drive away and not see it, especially if I'm in the back country. It just makes it very easy to see and very easy to identify, so I don't leave it somewhere. And I haven't yet, so. You'll learn with your camper how much tension is needed, but typically you just turn it until all of a sudden, boom, it gets tight. Now you don't want to over tighten it, you just want to get it nice and snug, and then you're ready to actually start unfolding the canvases on the outside and get ready for actually setting it up. What I do is I have all of my stabilizing bars underneath the cushions on the two beds. I pull those out first, get them right underneath where the beds are eventually going to be. That way I don't have to crawl up under it here in a few minutes. Once I have all of the supporting bars on the outside of the camper, I'm going to go ahead and put on the two that attach to the side of the camper, so that in the event that the cable breaks, you're not getting crushed, it's going to be held firm in place. Once you have that done, you're going to go ahead and pull out the sides of the camper and kind of fluff up the canvases, the fabric that make up the roof above the beds. This is just going to make it super easy. If you have an extra person, this helps. You're going to push from the inside while someone else pulls from the outside. And that's going to pull your beds out to the side of the camper. And when you have that done, you're actually able to put the supporting roof beams in place and the supports that go up underneath the bed. At this point in the process, the roof has been raised all the way up. It is stable with the two supports in place. You have your beds pulled out to the side. The roof bars for your two beds are in place, and you're going to use those bars that you took on the outside earlier and put them underneath the beds to give them support. Once you have all of this in place, there's not much else to do. All you need to do is take the door, lower it, and lock it into place. And this could require a little bit of finesse on your part. And then check and see how level everything is. You're going to have to adjust a few things to make sure everything is level. Again, you can raise the stabilizers up on the side, you can lower it and raise it on the front and back, you can use your wheel stabilizer and make sure everything is nice in place. Now all you have to do is set up the inside. You put your sleeping bags and your pillows and any cooking utensils, anything you want to get out, you can do that. Additionally, for my camper, there is a grill attached to a propane tank at the front. So I'll take my grill, attach it to the back, and connect the lines. And then, yeah, I'm pretty much set up at this point, ready to camp and ready to have some fun. So there you have it. We have successfully and safely set up a pop-up camper. And let me just tell you, I am so proud of you. You did a great job. Thanks for being a part of today's video. I hope you found it informative and hopefully also just a little encouraging to get out there, explore God's creation, rent a pop-up camper, check one out. They're so much fun for you and your family. Hey, don't forget to stay tuned to next week's video where I'm going to give you a full tour of my pop-up camper. And then I'm also going to share with you the advantages and disadvantages to a pop-up camper versus a regular camper. So God bless you, and remember, God's creation is meant to be explored.